Alright guys, how are y'all? Y'all ready for this video? I've been saying I'm gonna do this video and haven't done it yet, so it's finally here. Just read over my notes um from when I ovulated. I read over everything because this month, if y'all been following me, y'all know last month I had an early miscarriage, and um, so I really wasn't expecting to get pregnant this cycle. So I really didn't track anything or keep up with it. Hold on 1 second. Um, or keep up with it. So, um, last cycle, uh, you know, we basically baby dance and stuff like that, but I ended up like I said, I got faint positives and ended up having an early miscarriage. Now this cycle, um, I'm gonna tell you what my symptoms were. So I didn't get any symptoms. So for some women get symptoms as early as 7 or 8 DPO. Well, sorry to tell you, I didn't get any symptoms until 8 DPO. Some women, like I said, have symptoms 6 DPO, 7 DPO. I didn't have any until 8. Now, 8 DPO, I did notice when I came home that I had extreme amount of creamy discharge in my underwear. By the way, this video is extremely TMI. I'm going to get into detail on every little symptom, okay? So, just want to put that out there. If you get queasy, if judgmental or don't want to hear certain things, I suggest you click off this video. Alright, so like I was saying, ADPO had extreme amount of cervical mucus and it was creamy like lotion in my underwear. So I didn't think nothing of it. I threw them in the dirty clothes and washed up and got ready for the next day. I did notice that I was extremely tired, and I had a bit of nausea that day. I was at my good friend of mine house, and I just felt nauseous all of a sudden. I was like, I'm nauseous. And my husband looked over to me. He was like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Okay, 9 DPO comes around. This was the day before my court date. If y'all follow that video, y'all know what's going on with that. So I was kind of irritated. I noticed that, like, I was kind of snippy and snappy towards my husband. My husband's like, "What is up with you in these mood swings?" And I was like, "I ain't have no mood swings." So that was something else. 10 DPO, same thing. I was having fatigue. I was having bloating. Throughout all of these days, from 8 DPO all the way until I got my BFP, I had bloating. But I had fatigue, and I had cravings. I was craving something. Now normally I dust that off as, oh well, I'm just craving because my Aunt Flo finna come on. Normally I crave salty foods or like fatty foods right before then. But this time I was craving something sweet. So it was kind of weird for me. 11 DPO came, and I was kind of fatigued, and I had noticed something. When me and my husband, got intimate, let's just say that, because we're no longer, after 11 DPO, you ain't baby dancing no more. So we call it intimate. I noticed when I climaxed real soft. It was like, how you let the pressure out of a teapot slow. Like, yeah, it was kind of real soft. So I was like, I didn't think nothing of it. It was like, maybe, I'm tired. So maybe my body's like, you tired, girl, you tired. So I didn't think nothing of that. I went on about my day. And something just told me to take a test, because at this time, I was happy, because if y'all know what happened in court, y'all know why I was happy. So I was happy. Well, actually, y'all don't know, and I ain't saying. But just know that it's not something to be concerned about at this point. But I was happy. I was gonna drink, and I think I've told y'all this in the previous video. I was finna drink, so I took a test, and it turned out positive. The first one I took, I threw it away before it could finish, and I put this in my notes. I threw it away before it could finish, and when I went back, which was like, I would say no more than like 10 minutes later, it was positive. And so I took another one, and that one as well was positive. But I did not time them, so I really didn't I didn't think nothing of it, because I did not time them. If you see me looking over there, it's because my husband left his Xbox on, and I unplugged his headset, so I'm just a little nervous about people hearing me. Anyway, but yeah, I did not time it. So I did go back and take another one the next day, the next following day, and that one came back positive as well. The next day I went to the clinic after I had took my own test, just to confirm, because like I said, I wasn't timing how long it took for how long it took for the test to show up positive. So I wanted to make sure that it was indeed a positive and not a faint line or evap line or anything like that. So I took it with first morning urine the next day, and I timed it to make sure that it came back within the time frame, and it did. It came back within 2 minutes. It didn't come back immediately, like some women pregnancies, it come back immediately. No, mine took at least 2 minutes. I stopped the timer once I seen the faint line, and it came back in 2 minutes. And so after that, I went and walked into the clinic, and y'all know what happened with that. Came back negative, because she also did not let the test completely finish or set. So I went back home, and I took another test, Those tests came back positive immediately, like after that. But also, I want to say on 10 DPO and 11 DPO, I had extreme headaches. I had extreme headache. When I tell you, it was like it was like, oh, oh, like I had to stop whatever I was doing, close my eyes and hold my head because it hurt that much. Then it was over. It was like, oh, and then it was over. I had that 10 and 11 DPO. So when I came back home, I took the test that y'all seen on the other video. On 11, I think this was it 11? It was 12 DPO. I took those on 12 DPO, and they came back. Like, you can watch the video and y'all see. Pretty much when I showed y'all the yes plus, all the other tests were finished. So that tell you how fast it took. Now 13 DPO, I experienced fatigue. I also experienced, which I'm still having now, brown spotting. I had it real bad. But I did do my research. I'm not going to say I reached out to a doctor because of what happened with the whole other doctor's office debacle. But I did do my own research, and I looked on medical websites, and they basically say brown spotting is completely normal. So I want to say that disclaimer because I see a lot of ladies out there is asking that question. It's completely normal unless you have either cramps with it, or unless you have what I mean by cramps is extreme cramping, like you feel like your period is already on, that kind of cramping, or like you gotta bend over, okay, or take pain medicine for it. They said, or you have red bleeding, or you get dark brown. Now light brown is fine, but dark brown, you need to go see your OB, or you need to go to the hospital, because it could be a problem. But yes, 13 DPO until now. Well, no, it's been on and off. 13 DPO, I had brown spotting. 14 DPO, I was fine. I didn't have any spotting or anything in my underwear. Key thing, also, I want to bring this up. When I wiped, I had nothing. Okay, nothing but I looked on that tissue, nothing, no mucus, no none of that. That's another thing, okay? They say if you have any kind of brown mucusy discharge and your discharge is not thin and clear, then that could be a problem. Yeah. But like I was saying, when I wiped, there was nothing. Now when I wipe, there's a couple brown spots. Sometimes there's nothing. Most of the time, like I would say about 70% of the time, it's nothing on there but urine. What else? Unless I do a number 2, then there's something on there. But no. That was pretty much it. I really didn't have any extreme symptoms. I wish I could give y'all like, if you do this, there's really no extreme symptoms. I did have a spot of nausea I mean, so I would say, you have to know your body. If you know your body and you notice something like, oh, I can smell like certain things, and you couldn't, you really didn't pay attention to that. That was another thing. I don't know when this symptom started, but I know that I had it around I would say 8 DPO as well. I had a heightened sense of smell. Like, I could smell, if my son did a number 2, I could smell it from all the way across the room. Okay. Come 12 DPO, and my husband said it. I walked out of my room into the kitchen, and my father-in-law had just had cucumbers. By the way, this is gonna be a longer video because I have a lot of information to give, but and he had just had cucumbers, and the cucumbers were gone, and I could smell them, like as if they were right there in my face. I said, I smell cucumbers. Somebody had cucumbers. And my husband looked up like this, and he was like, oh, yeah, you're definitely pregnant. So, that will be another thing. If you notice that you have a heightened smell, all of a sudden, like, you could smell something from across the room, or you could smell something that was in there 5 minutes ago, like a peach or something that normally doesn't leave a lingering smell, it might be a clue, you know. Another thing, a big thing, if you notice that you get winded quick, what I mean quick is the normal things that you do. Let's say you picking up a box or whatever, and you don't normally get winded, you're pregnant. Okay? It doesn't happen. Okay? Because when I tell you I couldn't do nothing without, I could not even bend over to pick up a piece of clothes without getting winded. Another thing, backache, don't even get me started, okay? That started, I believe, 12 DPO, so that's not a great thing to look for, but it is something. Like, if you're wondering if that faint line that you see is really confirmed or not, and you keep taking the test and keep getting the same faint line, if that back go to hurting, baby girl, I'm gonna leave one more big thing, because if y'all want to know what me and my husband did, it'll be in the next video. See y'all in the next one. Bye.